Okay, good. So we're doing page 31, and we're still talking about federal elections. And Zaniba, would you like to do this part here, which says secret ballot, please?
Oh, secret ballot.
Ballot. Yeah, that
Okay,
word, ballot.
okay. Canadian law secretes the right to secret polling. That's polling, right, teacher?
Ballot.
Polling.
Ballot. Yeah, ballot.
Pilot, this meaning that no one can watch you vote and no one should look at how you vote. You may choose to discuss how you vote with others, but no one include family members, your employer, or union,
Union.
union representative as the right to insist, insist that
Insist.
you tell them insist that you tell them how you vote immediately after the polling situations close. Election officer count the polls and the results are announced on radio and television and in newspaper.
Very good. Okay. So
Yes.
let's see what we have to talk about here. So everybody has a secret ballot. A ballot is just usually a piece of paper that you write who you want who you vote for. That's what a ballot is. So whenever you vote, you write on a ballot, I want this person, I vote for this person. So that's a ballot, and it has to be secret. Nobody can know but you, and nobody can ask you. You can tell anybody if you want, but nobody can ask you or make you tell them. Not your family, not your boss, a union rep. A union is when you work at a big company, sometimes they will have a union to help you, but you don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell anybody who you voted for. Um, and then it says after the polling stations close, remember the polling stations? That's the place where you go to vote. We call it a polling station. That's where you go and do your voting. The election officers, the people that run the polling station, they count all the ballots, they count all the paper and the information, and then they on radio and television they tell you what the results were, who won and who lost. Yeah. So it comes immediately after. As soon as the polls close, they count the ballots, and then when they finish counting, they say on radio and television and newspapers who won and who lost. Yeah. Okay, so the main thing here is we have a law in Canada that has to be a secret ballot. Secret. Okay. Okay, good. And then let's see. This one after the election. Diallo, would you like to read this part where it says after an election, please?
Okay. After an election. Ordinarily, after an election, the leader of the political party with the most seats in the House of Commons and invited by the Governor General to form the government. After being appointed by the Governor General, the leader of this party becomes the Prime Minister. If the party in power holds at least half of the seats in the House of Commons, this is called a majority government. If the party in power holds less than half of the seats in the House of Commons, this is called a minority government.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, so we have two types of government. You have a majority government and you have a minority government. And in Canada now, we have a minority government because The Liberals, they earn power, but they have less than half. So they have the most seats, but they don't have half of the seats in the House of Commons. So they're called a minority. And then if the Liberals or another party has more than half, more than 50%, then they're called a majority government. A majority government. Yeah. Okay, and so after an election, this says after an election, the political party with the most seats in the House of Commons is invited by the Governor General to form the government. So whoever has the most seats, whoever wins the most seats after an election, the Governor General invites them, says, you can form your government. You can be the government. And then the leader of that party becomes the Prime Minister. Yeah. So again, now we have the Liberals, and their leader is Justin Trudeau. So his party won the most seats in the last election, and the Governor General asked him, "Would you like to be the Prime Minister? Be the Prime Minister?" And he said, "Yes, we'll run the government." So that's how it works. But the things to remember here are the fact that a majority government, they have more than half. They have half the seats. They have at least half the seats, and a minority government has less than half the number of seats. So try to remember that, because that's usually a question. Okay, now this one starts down here, and then it goes up to the top of this page here. So let's see. Gazelle, would you like to read this one, and then we'll get Manal to read the next one? So it's the Prime Minister and the party.
Okay. The Prime Minister and the party in power reign the government as long as they have the support of confidence of the majority of the MBC when the House of Commons votes of measure as assess. No, this is
Issue.
issue.
Yep.
H are the biggest. This is considered
Yes, considered good.
a matter of confidence.
Yeah, you did it. Good. Confidence. Good.
And confidence of the majority of the members of the House of Commons vote agenda of merge government decision. The
Good
party.
decision. Good.
What this is, Brian?
That's right. You're correct. Decision.
Decision. The party in power. Power is divided, which usually restates in the Prime Minister asking the governor,
Yes.
governor, okay, general of behalf of the Silvering to call on election.
Yeah, very good. Call an election. Very good. Okay, so this area here is talking about the confidence confidence of the House. But confidence means you trust something. You feel when you have confidence in something, that means you trust it. You think it's okay, it's good. You trust it. So the government they have to have confidence of most of the members of parliament. So most of the members of parliament have to think that the government's ideas are good. Yeah. Usually it doesn't matter. Like sometimes they can vote against something maybe, but if it's an important thing, like how the government is going to spend money, that's called a budget. It's called a budget. And whenever they talk about how they're going to spend money, that's very important. And so they have to have the majority. They have to have more than 50% of the members of the House of Commons. They have to vote that they think, yes, that's a good idea. We think that's a good idea. But if they don't, if more than half of the members say no, we don't think that's a good idea, then the party, the government is defeated. That means they have to quit. They have to resign. And so the prime minister goes to the governor general, and then we have an election. Yeah, so that's what a matter of confidence. They have to have confidence. So confidence means that most of the MPs have to agree that what the government's decision is a good one. And if they don't, that means the government has to quit, they have to stop, and we have to have an election for a new government. Yeah, so that's what this one is about. Is that okay with everybody? Again,
Yes.
they use big words, but I think the ideas are pretty simple. So the MPs have to trust and they have to agree that the government's ideas are good. And if they don't, that's losing the confidence of the House. Okay. Now let's see. We have Mohammed, you're here, right?
Yes.
Could you read the next one, please? And then we'll get Manal to read the last one. The Prime Minister, can you do that one?
Okay. The Prime Minister chooses the ministers of the Crown, most of them from among members of the House of Commons. Cabinet ministers are responsible for running the federal government departments. The Prime Minister and the cabinet ministers are called the cabinet, and they make important decisions.
Yes, that's right. That's good. That's right.
Decisions
Yeah, good.
about how the country is governed. They prepare the budget and proposes or most new laws. Their decisions can be questioned.
That's a difficult one. Questioned.
Be all members of the House of Commons.
Very good. Okay. So what Mohammed was reading about was the cabinet. Okay. And so this the cabinet. So what the prime minister does, the prime minister wins the election. Now they have to choose the people to run the different departments. You know, we have to have somebody run the money, and then we have to have somebody to look after the army, and then we have to have somebody look after the Aboriginal things. And so these people that look after each department, each area, they're called cabinet ministers. Okay, and so the cabinet has two parts. The cabinet is the prime minister and the cabinet ministers together. So they're like the management of they manage the country. Okay, and so they make the big decisions on how the government is run, how Canada is run. So they make the budget, and so they decide how to spend money, and they usually make new laws, and all their decisions, everything they do, can be questioned. So anybody in the House of Commons, any member of the House of Commons can ask questions about what the cabinet ministers are doing. So that makes sure that everybody's doing a good job. So the thing to remember here is the cabinet, and the prime minister chooses the cabinet. They're ministers of the crown, but they're called the cabinet. And they are, the cabinet is involved, the cabinet and the prime minister. So the cabinet ministers and the prime minister together, they are called the cabinet. Okay, so try to remember that. Cabinet ministers and prime minister together, they're called the cabinet, and they make all the important decisions, and any member of the House of Commons can question anybody. Okay, so that's that one. Very good. Okay, so let's do one more. And Manal, would you like to read the last one here at the bottom?
Okay. The other parties that are not in polar are known as opposition
Good.
parties. The opposition party with the most members of the House of Commons is the official opposition are here.
Majesty.
Majesty's law opposition. The role of opposition parties is to be specific.
Oh, really close. Peace. What's the next part? Peace.
Specifically.
Yeah. Peacefully. Good. Peacefully. Good.
Oppose are try to improve government properly.
Oh, really close. Proposals.
Proportionally, there are three major politically political parties currently represented
Really close.
represented in the House of Commons. The Conservative Party, the New Democratic Party, and the Liberty Party.
Yeah, Liberal Party. Very good. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we had the government, we had the cabinet and the prime minister, cabinet ministers and the prime minister, they make the cabinet, that's the government. Now this is called the opposition. So if you're not in the government, you're called the opposition. When you oppose something, that means usually to go against it. You go against it. So the opposition party, their job is to try to improve government ideas. So their job is to not just say no to everything. Their job is to try to give the government ideas to make things better. That's really their job. And the leader of the, so you have many parties in the government, or sorry, in the opposition, and the leader with the most number of MPs, it's called the official opposition. And then this big fancy name here, Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition. That means Queen Elizabeth's loyal opposition. It's a big fancy word, but most people just say official opposition, official opposition. And this is kind of how they're going to word it probably in the question. What they're supposed to do, the opposition parties, their job is to peacefully oppose. So try to go against, but not in a bad way, in a useful way, and try to improve government proposals, to try to improve the government ideas. That's the purpose of the opposition parties. That's what they're supposed to do. And then there's three major parties in the House of Commons in Canada. There's the Conservative Party, the New Democratic Party, and the Liberal Party. And the Liberal Party is now the government, and it usually goes back and forth between sometimes the Conservative Party is the government, and then sometimes the Liberal Party is the government. Yeah. So that's what we do in the last page. Official opposition, and their job is to try to improve what the government does. Okay, so let's go do some questions now. Now I've started right from the beginning for the test. Other page, so just 1 second. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Geneva, would you like to do this one?
Yes, teacher. What do Canadians vote for in federal election? What they do? The Governor General, they want to represent them in Canada. Yes, number 2.
Okay, good. The people. They vote for the people they want to represent in the House. Very good. And Diallo, would you like to do this one?
What do the Uniteg's MB stand for in Canadian politics? Oh, number 1, member of parliament.
Very good. Member of Parliament. Good. And then let's see. Gazal, would you like to do this one?
Okay. When most federal arbitration be held? Okay. I think number 4, right?
So when?
When, yeah. Okay.
When do you
Okay.
think?
Okay.
So that it could be number 4, but there's
Okay.
one specific number of years.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
No, it's okay, because we did this before a few days ago.
Number 1, I'm not sure.
Number
Okay.
1 or number 2? Number 1 or number 2? 4 years,
Oh,
4
okay.
years or 5 years? Which one is it?
I think number 2, Brian. I told my husband number 1. I thought
It's okay.
I correct number 1. Oh,
Yeah, you got number. Yeah, very good. Yeah, they have to do an election every 4 years. Okay, let's see. And Mohammed, can you do this one? Oh,
Okay.
let's see. Were you here? This is from a couple days ago. I'm not sure if you
No.
were here.
I'm not
Okay.
here.
Okay, Gazala, you have to help them then. You be a team then. Okay, let's see. Sorry, let Manal do this one and I'll do one for you later. Manal, can you do this one?
Manal.
And
Help
now
me,
can you,
please. I don't know.
oh, you were here
I
either,
can't
okay.
hear. I can't hear before 3 days.
Okay, okay. So let's start at the top and then I'll give you questions for when you were here.
Okay.
So let's see, Zaniba was here. Do you remember this one, Zaniba?
It's okay, Brian. Trying.
Okay.
No problem.
Oh, you're gonna do it. Okay, good, good, good.
Maybe number
Okay.
2.
Okay, Muhammad. Trying.
Number 2.
Into how, into
See?
how,
Oh.
Very good. Number
Number
two.
2.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. And now who wants to do this one? I got messed up with the people.
Mm,
Um, who wants to do this one? Let's see.
I think 2.
Number 2. Yeah, whoever said that was right. Yay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think now we're back to Zaniba. Is that right? Okay.
Okay.
The citizen in-
Shira, I'm here.
Maybe we should just let everybody answer the questions all. Zaniba, what do you think? What do you think for this one, Zaniba?
Okay,
Oh,
who do they
Parliament.
citizen in the each election district? Member of parliament,
Acting Minister of
member of
Parliament.
politicals.
Elite.
Oh, this one, parliaments. This all is a parliament. Okay,
Oh, did you say member of parliament?
yeah, member of the parliament.
Yeah, very good.
Them or minister?
It's always member of parliament. It's always the same. They just try to trick you with the other one. And then, yeah, do you remember this one?
Okay, who has the right to run as a candidate in federal election? Number 1, Canadian citizens who are 18 years old or older.
Very good.
Teacher,
Yes.
I'm saying Rashid is waving his hand.
Oh, is Rashid here? Okay, Rashid, are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rashid.
Tried to shift me at over
Hello.
time, but
I'm very sorry. I didn't know you were there.
no
I
problem,
saw.
no problem. It's okay.
Okay, Rashid, have you been following along?
You
You want
most
to
of,
answer?
yeah.
Do you want to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do this one then? Do you want to answer this question? Or I'll get
Okay.
try this
in-
one. I'm sorry, Rashid. I didn't know you were there.
In Canadian politics, what are the people who run for office called? Okay. Can I say number 4 candidates?
Very good.
all
Rashid,
the
do you have a
people before,
Rashid, do you have a new phone today?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the problem. That was the problem.
That was the
Okay. I saw your
Zainab,
name and I did.
I got Sair today. He sent me the link.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay, that's excellent. Okay, so now where are we now? So we did Diala, you did one, right? Okay. Did you do what you did one, Diala, right? Okay, so now we're at Gazala, I think. Gazala?
Mohammed,
Oh, Mohammed's here too. Okay, okay. First Gazala and then
how are,
wives, women first and then men.
how
Okay,
are
Gazala.
members of parliament chosen?
Okay, you can be a team. You and Gazala can be a team. Okay.
Here is number 3.
They are.
Very good, very good. Okay, good. And then let's see. Now, would you like to do this one? Manal, are you muted, Manal?
Yeah, here, teacher, but I can't
Okay.
hear you.
Can you do this one?
Who does a member of permanent appointment doesn't they here in Canada? And first one.
You guys are getting these all. You guys are getting these all right really quickly. Okay, and then back to Zaniba, I think.
Okay. What do you call the people who run for office? Service official. Minister. Who ran? Electives. Is that teacher number one?
The people who run for office, they try to become an MP.
Okay.
If they want you to vote for them, they try to become an MP. Remember the name of that?
Minister.
No, these are the ones that they're not elected yet. So
Oh,
these are the ones who want you to vote for them. Do you remember what they were called?
oh, elective number one. Is
Well,
number
these, they could be anybody. They could be any one of these.
Canadian,
one.
Canadians,
And
Canadians.
is that
That's okay. Candidates. Yeah, they're the people that you try to
Candidates.
vote. Yeah. Okay, good. Candidates. That's from a few days ago, so that's good. And then, yeah, would you like to do this one?
There can be
Manal or
many.
me?
Oh, Diala.
There can be many candidates in an electoral district. True?
And then, can you do this one? I guess we'll go to Rashid and then we'll go to Ghazala and Mohammed. Can you do this one, Rashid?
Okay. In a federal election in each electoral district, what does the candidate who receives the most votes become? Okay. The MP.
Very good. Okay. And then Ghazala, would you like to do this one?
Okay. How many candidates can there be in elected district? How many? Okay, 2, 3, many.
3.
I think 4, many.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Very good.
Yeah.
And then Mohammed, can you do this one?
Who has the right to vote of federal elections? Number 1 is a Canadian citizen at a lot last 8 years old on voting day and on the votes list.
Very good. Good. And then let's see. Manal, would you like to do this one, please?
Which of the following correctly makes your eligible to vote? You are perfectly incorrect. You are neither vote. You are
You understand the question? You understand?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe 3.
Maybe
Okay, let me explain the question. So this says one of these things,
Okay.
you have to be one of these things to vote in Canada.
2.
Yeah, what do you think, Manal? One of these things you have to have to vote in Canada. Only one.
What, teacher?
So one of these things you have
Okay.
to vote. To be able to vote, you have to have one of these things. One of these things has to be true.
2? Number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two is- yeah, that's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Two is the right one. Okay, good. Okay. Nope. Question. Very good. Okay, and back to Zaniba now, please.
okay. Which of the following is not allowed by non-Canadian citizen? Vote in federal or provincial election. Go to university? No. Number one.
Yeah. I think everybody else can drive a car and stuff.
Yes. And
Okay. And then Diallo, can you do this one, please?
What is the National Register of Elector?
Can you see that still?
Yeah.
It's small. I'm going to make it smaller one time. I hope you can still read it.
Yeah.
You still read that? Or is that too small?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Number 3.
National Register of
National
Electors.
Register of
But
Electors.
this part here is important, the second part, right? Database of this part here.
Not sentence.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Okay, so one more time. So this is from a couple of days ago, but so that's why. So this is for the people that can vote.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, let's try it. The people that can vote.
Mama, mama فين الدبليك أتري ماما فين الدبليك أتري ماما فين الدبليك أتري ماما فين الدبليك.
So it's
Number
one or two.
Number
Yeah, yeah.
1.
Yeah, it's number 1.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Yeah, they kind of trick you by putting landed immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay. And then let's see, Rashid, can you do this one? I'll make it bigger.
Okay, what is the name of the agency that produces the voters list? Is Voting Canada number 4?
Yeah, this is from a couple days ago. It's not Voting Canada. It's number 2 or 3. It's number 2 or 3.
Electionists.
Yeah, Elections Canada. Good. And then this is for Gazala, I guess, please.
Okay. How does الكتشن Canada give the no election
Yeah.
card to the what this is? I didn't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give the election card.
Yeah, election card the electress who
Electors.
shows names are in the national register of electorate. Oh my God,
Electors.
it's very long.
Yeah. So basically, how do you get a card?
Okay.
And how do you get the card when you're gonna go vote? How do you get a card?
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe number 3. But oh my God. Two? Brian, you help me.
Yeah.
No, Brian, you help me. I think.
No, I was just playing with my mouse. I was just playing with the mouse. I didn't do it.
This is the new for me. This is the new.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mohammed, can you do this?
What information does the elector card connection
Contain. So what is
Con-
on the
contain?
what is on the elector card?
Okay.
Number 4, the constitution names.
No.
Well, that yeah, part of it, but there's a lot of there's other stuff on it too. Like it's a very important thing. This is the card with it. You're gonna when there's an election, you get this card, and then Election Canada tells you a whole bunch of information. So it's the one with the most information.
والله أقول نمبر واحد أنا.
حذيرة.
خلص قول واحد ما التست اليوم.
Number 2.
Number 1 Brian. No,
Number
3.
3. حذيرة.
3.
Okay, number 3. Right.
Because Brian helped everybody today.
Yay, very good. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Well, it's not fair because we read this 2 days ago, so it's a couple days ago. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one is for Manal.
Okay. What happens if you are not listed in the national registry of Atlantic City? Can tell about
1.
1. One
Number one?
teacher.
Number
Yes.
1? Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very
Good.
good. Good.
Good Manal.
Brian Diala, she
Yeah.
said.
بالغش.
Brian Diala, she said number 1 to Manal. I'm not
Very
snitch.
good.
I'm not snitch, but just I want you to know.
That's good. You can do. We can be a team here as long as we all pass. It doesn't matter. And
No
then Geneva,
problem. Me and Diala share.
yeah, you share the test.
Yeah, share the test. Yeah.
And then Geneva, can you do this one?
By secret appalling. Maybe number 3. Yes.
Very good. Secret ballot. Good. Okay, now we're doing the questions we talked about today. So these are questions from the stuff that we talked about. Okay, and then Yala, can you do this one?
Okay. What does a vote by secret ballot means? That one can watch you vote and no one should look at how. Number 1.
Very good. All right, that's very quick. Okay. And then Rashid, can you do this one? I hope you were here when we did this, but we'll see.
Who had the right to insist that you tell them how you voted? Nobody. Number 4.
Very good. Good. And then Gisela, can you do this one?
Okay. How are the realists of on election and you called in Canada?
How are the results of an election announced? So how do they
Yeah.
tell you what happened? Yeah.
Okay, I think number 3 television 2 radio and on television and in the newspapers.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Good. And then Muhammad, can you do this one?
Okay, after an election, who is invited be the governor general to from the government?
واحد.
Yeah, number one. Brian.
اثنين.
Number
Number
one.
one?
Number one.
لا واحد.
Very
Number
قد أنا
good,
قريته.
very
Yeah.
good,
Number one.
very good. Okay, and then Manal, can you do this one?
What is the leader of the party with the most party in the House of Commons called? Queen, Prime Minister, government currently. Two teacher?
Yeah. Very good, Prime Minister, good.
Yeah.
And then back to Zaniba, please. I don't know if you're muted, Zaniba, but I can't hear you right now.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry. Yes, please.
what is the majority government? The part in power that hold at least half of the seat in the, yeah, number one.
Very good. And then Diallo, what's this one?
What is a minority government? If the party in power holds less than half of the seats in the House of Commons. Number two.
Very good. And then Rashid, can you do this one?
Prime Minister and the party in power run the government. Number one.
Oh, you guys are fast. Very good. And then Ghazala, can you do this one? I'll make it a little small.
Okay. In Canada, how can a party in power be defeated?
Defeated. Yeah.
Defeated.
So how can they lose?
Okay. Queen, two, oh. Number one.
So this says that most of the people vote for
That-
in favor of. In
Class-
favor.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to trick you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay. And then Mohammed, can you do this one?
Okay, what is usually the result of a party in power being defeated? Number two, Brian, the prime minister most resign from the party, his party.
That's kind of no, he doesn't have to quit his party. He has to do something else. It's like that. It's like that.
أربعة.
So it's not number two. not
Number
number 3. It's
number
not number
four.
2 and it's not number 3.
I told
So it's
number
number
one. I
For
don't.
1 or number 4. It's one of those two.
I told my husband number one.
Number
My
one.
husband tell me number 4. I don't
Four.
know.
4.
Yeah.
He
Very good.
correct.
Very good. Number 4. Yeah, the prime minister goes to the governor general and then
Yeah.
they have an election. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. Good. Okay, and then this is for Manal, please.
How choose the ministries of the Quran?
Crown. Yeah, remember we talked about the ministers and stuff. Who chooses them?
اثنين. اثنين.
Two teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
هو شاكة فيه بس خايفة.
Very good. Prime
مش
Minister.
بهداك السؤال.
مع الجنسية طولي بالك يا حجة الله يرضى عليك.
You
You can't. You have to speak English, or I don't know.
no teacher, no. I told.
I told you this is not a test citizenship. This
No.
Okay.
is practice. This is a practice.
This is just a practice. Yeah, no problem.
This is a practice. No problem.
Teacher, I know number 2, but I'm scared because same last question.
No problem. And then Zaniba, can you do this one? I just want to show how many questions you guys have done today. 35. You're doing
Oh my
really,
God.
you're
Oh.
doing so many questions. It's really good. We're just going to do a few more, but you're doing so many. It's really good. Zaniba, you want to do this one?
What is the responsibility of the cabinet ministers? They are responsible for running the federal government department. Number 1.
Very good. And then Diallo, you want to do this one?
What forms the cabinet? Number 2. No. The prime minister and the cabinet ministers. Number 1.
Yeah, very good. Good. And then Rashid, you want to do this one?
Who can question the decisions of the government? Number 4, all members of the House.
Very good. And then let's see. Zala, would you like to do this one?
Okay, Brian. What are the Okay, help me, please.
Or responsibilities. of the ca-
Responsibility of the
Yeah, so what do the cabinet do? What do they
Cabinet.
respond? Yeah, what do they do?
Okay.
The res-
Number 3.
Yeah, good. Prepare the budget and make new laws. Good.
Yeah.
And then Mohammed, can you do this one?
What is the options party with the most members of the House of Commons called? Number 4.
واحد.
Remember that it had a big fancy name? Do you remember it had a big fancy name?
Help.
واحد.
Number 1.
How do you say number one? How do you say one in Arabic? So I know.
Brian, واحد in Arabic.
واحد.
Let's see.
Teacher, if you hear واحد يعني هو number 1. If you hear 2, no, it's 2.
Okay, I got it. I know giraffe is the same in English and Arabic.
Yeah. What
Okay,
is the name of the parties of the are not pro? Pro. 4 teacher.
Wow, you guys are fast.
Yeah, because me, I read, teacher. This
Very
last one.
Very good.
I remember.
That's finished?
And
Oh my God.
Zaniba, back to you. We'll see what we almost do 50. That'll be a record.
What is the role
Good
of the
boy.
opposition parties? To peace all option try to do the government. Number 1.
اضحكي انت اضحكي.
Very good.
فيلي محمد تسأل عني اليوم مات.
And then
لا قلت له للاستاذ بلاني طالعني قال لا انا كيفت خليكي فني
لا.
فني.
اسكت اسكت الأستاذ عم
this
يحكي.
one's for Diallo. For Diallo.
What are the names of the 3 major political parties currently represented in the House of Commons? Okay. Number 2
2.
حكيت.
Very good. Very good. Okay, and that's it. You just set a record. You did 43 questions in 1 hour.
Oh,
That's a record. Very good.